Hello, and welcome back to Bigfoot Lake. Boy, do we have an amazing story sent in by our friend Tina. Tonight's story has roots that go all the way back to 1735. When we think of the number 13, it's quite often been associated with bad luck. But in this case, it's much darker than simply bad luck. 13 represents the number of children given birth to by Deborah Leeds. Deborah would become more widely known as Mother Leeds. Upon finding that she was pregnant for the 13th time, Mother Leeds cursed the child in frustration, crying out that the child would be the devil. On a stormy night, she gave birth to her 13th child. The child she herself had cursed. Born as a normal child, the 13th child changed into a cursed creature with a goat's head, bat-like wings, a forked tail, and hooves. This creature growled and screamed, hitting everyone close by with its tail, before escaping by flying up the chimney into the nearby pine forest. The screams of this creature have been heard in those pine barrens to this day. Now, with that background of Mother Leeds' 13th child, now known as the Jersey Devil, let's dive in to tonight's mystery, sent in by our friend Tina. She writes, "My personal experience. My dad was a paraplegic and bedridden, and we had stayed up late watching a vampire movie. Well, I was startled awake not too long after we had gone to bed because I was dreaming I was being bitten on the neck by a vampire. When I woke up, I heard the most god-awful screeching. I got my mom awake, and she grabbed her .357 revolver and handed me the shotgun, and we rushed outside. Of course, my dad tried to keep us from going out, but my mom was fearless. But I was not, but I couldn't let her go out alone. It was raining, but we just couldn't see anything. We had 3 pigs that we were raising, and they were squealing, and it sounded like the barn was being ripped apart. So my mom shot into the air a couple times, and the screeching stopped, and the pigs got quiet. I talked my mom out of going out there to check because whatever happened was over, and it would be better to wait until daylight. When I found out the next morning, I found the strangest footprint in the mud, like nothing I have ever seen before. And my dad had shown me how to track. I had seen bear, deer, bobcat, rabbit, etc. tracks. We could not get our pigs out of the barn for 3 days. One of them had 3 long scratches down its hip that the vet had to come out and clean and stitch. He estimated that whatever had done it had claws about 3 inches long. We had the game warden for our region come out, and he said it wasn't a print he had ever seen before either. I dug the print out of the mud and put it into a wash basin after Warden had done a cast of it, so that my dad could see it, and he had never seen anything like it either. The Warden later called us, and apparently they had a number of others look at it. Biologists and animal experts from different universities looked at it, and they were baffled as well. Quite a few others in our area had the same issues too. It tried to get one of my mom's cousins, who had 2 ponies that he kept for his grandkids, to ride, but they too were in the barn. My dad's uncle had a small horse that was attacked, and his dog fought off whatever it was, and both of them needed vet care as well. Some people that lived up the holler from us had their chicken coops literally ripped apart, and a lot of chickens killed. One of them said it looked like someone just ripped some of them in half and threw them down, and a couple that, well, looked like the meat had been stripped from the bones, but the chicken was still whole and no bones, broken. Like how some people eat the chicken wing drumstick. They put the whole thing in their mouth and just pull out the bone. Whatever did this stayed around for about a week and then disappeared. The game wardens tried finding tracks, but the only thing they found was the footprint at our house and a couple around the chicken coops, and the marks made on the roofs of the animal barns. The game warden measured the footprint, and if I remember right, it was around 24 inches long, but narrow. But he said that it was probably really about 18 inches because as deep and loose as the mud was, it spread out under its weight. And the print was 4 to 5 inches deep, so he said whatever made the print was pretty heavy. Our small barn had been built pretty sturdy with 4x4 posts and 2x4 wall beams with plank siding and a metal roof. It was all put in with screws, not nails, so it didn't do a lot of damage, but it did pull a couple pieces of the metal roof up, but not off. And the siding had some damage, but only one plank was busted, so that it had to be replaced. It was really creepy, and people were scared to go out at night. All of the incidents happened from midnight to around 3 a.m. Kids weren't allowed outside without an adult with a gun around. People kept their pets inside. Our chickens were free range and had nest boxes, but flew up into the trees to sleep. Thank God, or we would probably have lost them if they had been in the coop. Those poor pigs and ponies were so traumatized that they would jump and holler at sudden loud noises. And that concludes Tina's story. What do you guys think about this? Have you heard of stories like this? With strange creatures attacking and leaving strange tracks? If you have a story that you would like us to share here at Bigfoot Lake, please send it to us. So many others have these stories, yet they're afraid to come forward, many times just because they're afraid of being ridiculed. But the more people who come forward, the easier it is for others to share their stories. So, what do you think? Do you think this creature that Tina described could possibly be the Jersey Devil? Or what other possibilities do you think? Please leave a comment and let us know. Maybe we can help Tina solve this mystery. So that concludes our story for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for coming back by and spending some time with us here at Bigfoot Lake, where the stories are mysterious and dark, and the company is friendly. So, until next time, have a great night, and see you next time at Bigfoot Lake.